Hello, everybody. Dustin Starr here. Welcome to the live reaction to episode 84. And it was our very first ever bull rope match, plus the aftermath of Teddy Long, WWE Hall of Famer, coming to Memphis Wrestling and laying down the law. Ray Sanders doing the right thing. And then, of course, Jimmy Blaylock and how he and the Hollywood Clique responded all happened on this episode. All that and so much more. Thank you guys for watching. I am Dustin Starr. Let's talk some Memphis wrestling. I have just a few minutes as the live reaction returns, and I apologize that we haven't had live reactions quite like what we used to have. But that's because so much stuff is going on every single Saturday here in Memphis. Just like the Memphis Grizzlies tip off tonight in their first ever preseason game. That is on the road, so I will not be there. I'm actually hosting wedding reception tonight, so I'll have to be getting ready for that here in just a moment. But we've had the Dyer County Fair, we've had the West Tennessee State Fair, we've had all sorts of stuff going on. And as you saw today on the upcoming events, October is absolutely loaded. What's up, everybody? Michael Wade is here. Robert, what's going on? William is in the house. Breezy, what's going on? Sorry I didn't see you last week when you were in Memphis. Hope you had a great trip. Patrick, what championships does Memphis Wrestling have? We have the Memphis Heritage Championship that is held by Mike Anthony, the Genetic Nightmare. We have the Memphis Wrestling Internet Championship that's held by the Chosen One, Zay Washington. We also have the Memphis Wrestling Tag Team Championships that's held by Memphis Muscle, Big Swole, and also the Gun Show. And of course, there's the Memphis Trios Championships that are rings, and they're held by the Skimahorns. Good question, Patrick. Welcome to Memphis Wrestling. Michael, what's up? Oh, yeah, five in the sky. Hey, Derek, he says, hello, Dustin. Great show. Love the ending with Ray and the King. What about that? Ray Sanders came up through the Wrestle Center, trained with Alan Steele and Derek King, got a little bit of hint of television time and a little bit of stardom, and all of a sudden, Hollywood Jimmy Blaylock recruits him in, and then this is how we got there. So Derek King making the save when he didn't have to shows what kind of stand-up guy, mentor, and trainee that he is. And speaking of that, next Saturday, October the 8th at 5:30 bell time, live at the Wrestle Center, it's the Memphis Wrestling Stars of Tomorrow, and I cannot even put into words how excited and how proud I am of everybody that's taken part in this upcoming event. It is sold out, and it's been sold out for about 6 weeks. So if you want to try to sneak in there, you're going to have to show up at the door, or there might be a couple of extra tickets released at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. But next Saturday is the Stars of Tomorrow, talking about the trainees and everything. And then immediately following, we're heading out to Dave & Buster's to watch WWE Extreme Rules absolutely free. So thanks, Derek. Michael says, what's up? Great show. How are you, Michael? William says, Dustin, you keep putting great programming each week. Keep it up. Thank you, William. We're going to do our very best. I think next week's show is probably better than this one. So we just got to keep topping them. Jonathan, that Blaylock is a Bobby Heenan 2.0 and does not know when to shut up. I totally agree with you on that. I love Bobby Heenan. I love Jimmy Blaylock. His attitude is the pits. But yeah, very Heenan-like. Breezy says, if you're starting to do weddings, you can come do mine. Oh, yeah, I'm hosting the wedding reception. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I hear there's an open bar, too. Let's see. Muhammad, how are you? Patrick says, K-Toomer versus Papo Esco. Book it. Oh, my gosh. I want to see Big Trouble Ben Bishop versus K-Toomer. That'd be awesome. Ben says, what's up, Dustin? Hey, Ben, how are you? I'm excited for what's in store in October. Oh, my goodness. October the 15th. That's in 2 weeks. We've got Black Rock, Arkansas Tag Team Warfare. Then October 23rd, the Vampire Warrior Gangrel. Mads Kruger will be here for our Halloween Spooktacular. ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. You can get your tickets. And then on Sunday, that's in 3 weeks, Sunday, the day before Halloween, October the 30th, we will be live with Memphis Wrestling inside Dave & Buster's. The cameras will be rolling, so you guys will be able to see that. But come out. That one is absolutely free. Lurvy says, hello, Dustin. Welcome back with a live reaction. My, how much a year makes. Yes, 2021, you were feeling your legs back in the world of pro wrestling. 2022, the talent seems to be pouring into Memphis. Lurvy, I really appreciate it. And it's feedback and support and just keeping up with the product, man. Just like you, it's you guys that are making this work, to be perfectly honest with you. And yes, I feel like that we have the best talent in the Mid-South and probably the best talent across the United States, in my opinion. Man, we're just going to keep growing. Just wait till you see the new crop of stars that are coming into Memphis Wrestling, trained by us at the Wrestle Center. Michael says, I think it's time for another Mempho Wrestling Commissioner to come to Mempho. Rob says, great show. Got to keep finger on the bleep button for Maria. Yeah, we didn't even worry about bleeping the word ass today for some reason. Derek, have you considered bringing in Willow Nightingale? Is Ray Ray going to be wrestling soon? I think we might have to see Ray Ray get a little physical, especially if he's going to get beat up by the Hollywood Clique each week. And I do love Willow Nightingale. I would love to have her here. Damon says, I'm in New York, and there's just something about watching Memphis Wrestling on TV at 1 a.m. Well, thanks, Damon. I really appreciate it, brother. Lots of really good episodes are in the playlist if you want to check those out. Let's see. Let me get caught up here. Ray Sanders has joined the light. Ray and DK Tag Team Champions. Eden Kane, Maine, what's up? How are you? Thank you for the $1.99. If you guys want to donate, I mean, any amount, $1.99, whatever. If you're not able to buy a T-shirt, or if you're not in the area to buy a ticket, and you want to buy a digital ticket or whatnot, you can click the little dollar sign at the bottom, and you can put in any amount you want. It's all appreciated. So thank you, Eden Kane, Maine. Shout out to you, brother. Larry says, is Memphis Wrestling going to have a taste of NWA in its rings, especially that they are in Nashville for the Crockett Cup tournament? I don't know. We have not worked a whole lot with NWA. We're in talks with Austin Idol from time to time to bring him in. And then also, of course, Nick Aldis and Camille. They have both been here. And who else has been here from the NWA? There's been quite a few. Peter Avalon, who is now, I guess, NWA. But stay tuned. You never know what's going to happen, Lurby. Rob says, sorry to hear about the Skims, Dad. I don't like the Skims, though. That is a true story. That's why they were not there at Championship Saturday. So very disgusting. Like, you could see me. It came all over me when I was at the desk. I obviously did not know that was going to be said. And, man, I was hot about it. Going to BYOD, bring your own drinks at ours. All right. Rob says Big Ben versus Fat Jitsu will be a war. I mean, if we get that match, I hope we do, but it seems like they dabbed it up, so we might not get it just yet, but there's always the Grind City Rumble. Patrick Moore, I don't know if you can, but book Memphis Muscle versus Midnight Heat for the UWN World Tag Team Championships. They deserve a shot. I think we would come out with new tag team champions, to be honest with you. William says, we discussed a lumberjack match in the live chat. Memphis Memories. Oh, man. As long as it's better than the one on AEW this week. Not throwing any shade. I love it, but woo. Actually, the Nightingale fight with Jamie Hayter was fantastic. Anyways, I digress. Man, what a show this week, Dustin. Thank you, Wrestling with MMA. I really appreciate it. You've been there since day one and have seen this show evolve. Nix, shut Shalance up for a second. Yeah. Rob says, love the new talent initiative. Me too, but I don't like Cameron Cole walking out on the match and then only to return and attack Gio afterwards. So we will have a rematch and probably next week. Wrestling with MMA. I tell the pod audience every week, if you're not watching Memphis Wrestling, are you really a fan? And I agree with you. There was a story that went out in the Daily Memphian earlier this week. It was written by J.D. Rieger, Rieger, sorry, like Seeger, Rieger. J.D. Rieger, but he wrote the story, and it was about the state of Memphis Wrestling, the resurgence of Memphis Wrestling, and it is a very good read if you guys can find it without the paywall. But I agree with you. Wrestling with MMA, I try not to look at it from a homer's point of view. I try to look at it like, is this really a good show? And I am entertained by what I see. And I feel like if there's somebody who does not like our show and they don't watch our show, it's just them being a hater, whether it's a classic person from yesteryear or a new generation of today. I feel like that if you say that you don't like our program without actually watching it, sorry, that doesn't really hold water for me. But I do think that any wrestling fan would like the show. Thank you for saying that, Wrestling with MMA. Kamari says, I'm ready for Ben versus Toomer. It'd be a fire match. Crazy. Oh, a lot of potential. Big Ben's going to be working on the big stage one day. And I'm talking about a bigger stage than Memphis Wrestling. Michael says, Michael Wade may come to Mempho in 2023. Bring it on. We got you set up right down the street at the Marriott. Robert says, will we ever see Papo Esco versus K Toomer? It could happen. It could happen. I haven't seen Papo really travel outside of California, though. So, but it could absolutely happen. Mike, what are you thinking? Boy from New York City. A lot of talent in Mempho. Could go 2 hours and still not scratch the talent pool. I do think that we could go 2 hours. The problem with that would be just shooting it, and yes, that would be problematic, adding another hour to it. But we have enough talent to do it, that's for sure. Lurvy says there's something I love about the independent more than the big leagues with WWE and AEW. I never was a fan of the arena wrestling more than I am studio wrestling in smaller venues. And that's it. You get it, Lurvy. This is studio wrestling. It's not supposed to be 500 people or 1,000 people. They won't even fit. The fire code won't allow us. So when people look at the show and they're just being haters about, oh, how many people are in there? 20? Dude, we're at capacity every single show. And what I mean by capacity is we are not allowed to fit any more people in. And it is studio wrestling for that reason. So very, very good point there. Lurvy, Michael says, no, Williams, a funky, funky, funky bro from Grand Alley in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Kamari says, that's why I love watching Memphis, baby. Russell Lee is here. Good afternoon, Dustin. Jerry the King Lawler coming to wrestle. No, Jerry Lawler will not wrestle on the show. He's like 80 now. I'm not throwing shade, but I mean, could you imagine Lawler versus the Gun Show or Mike Anthony? Derek says W. Morrissey versus Big Ben Bishop would be epic. W. Morrissey inside the Wrestle Center would be epic, bottom line anyway. William says Big Ben and Fat Jitsu would be a tough team to beat. I agree. Rob says Memphis has a better women's division than WWE. Man, I love the women's division in WWE. Please bring some of them to Memphis. Let's see here. I lost my spot. Lurvy, any possibility you will showcase your new talent on YouTube later in October? By the way, I believe Cameron Cole had something to do with Will Allday's rib injury. You might be right. Those guys fight all over the United States. Now, the Memphis Wrestling Stars of Tomorrow will air. It will be a 2-week special on Memphis Wrestling. You're going to learn more about that next week and as it comes up. But it will take over the programming, and it will feature the Stars of Tomorrow. Wrestling with MMA says, I'll definitely check out the article. I think you'll really appreciate it. Patrick says, I think you should upgrade the Memphis women's title and a UWN title if you are still in UWN. Yes, we are United Wrestling Network, and we do have the only women's championship in the United Wrestling Network. So to me, that means that we have the United Wrestling Network, Memphis Wrestling Women's Championship. And if you saw, it is a beautiful, I like the one before, but this one is really beautiful, brand new. What's up, Big Dan? How are you? Rob says, I love how Memphis Wrestling travels around the area and challenges the local talent. Ben says, since y'all did the Dyer County Fair and West Tennessee State Fair, is there any possibility of y'all doing Mid-South Fair in the future? Absolutely, Ben. We're going to do all the fairs. I think that we should probably do the Delta Fair. We should do Mid-South Fair. We should do Memphis in May World Championship Barbecue Contest. We should do all that. And we are 1.5 years old, and it's coming. It's coming. Oh, yeah. Larry says, you won't find a hater of Memphis Wrestling in me. I love the updated look, even if the old faces like Jerry Lawler aren't a part of the show. Well, we've had Jerry Jarrett. We have King Cobra. We've had Dave Brown. We've had quite a few of the classic stars. And I feel like that we don't need what we don't need. So let's see. Rob says, could Memphis Wrestling return to Hollywood Wrestling? We could have some guys out there, but we are focused on growing Memphis Wrestling to the point where we can do live pay-per-views on Fight TV. Let's see. I need to relax, says Kamari. Rob, you have the best fans. If you got more in there, they might explode. I totally agree. Wait till you see October 8th. It is sold out. Patrick, I want to see it too. Okay. I'm glad Sanders came to his senses and broke away from the clique. But that was despicable attack. No, I totally agree. I mean, there are going to be some repercussions. There are going to be some action taken because of what happened. Rob says, I like the Memphis Extra match you posted online. Yeah, that was Body Guy University. We're going to do more of that. You'll probably see some of the play-by-play change up a little bit. Michael says, I was so glad not to see Justin Klein in the chat. Kamari says, good job, Ray Ray. Steve says, we're going to get Anthony versus Clearwater match. I would love that. I know that Mike Anthony would love that too. Keith says, by the way, those guys in the last match better wish they didn't sign up with K Toomer. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite parts of the show is hearing that music hit and just listening to the fans rumble. It's not like a big Road Warrior pop, but it's almost like everybody at the same time going, oh, here we go. Somebody's going to get hurt. They're all like rumbling a little bit, you know. Let's see. Derek says, do you ever plan on traveling up north a state or two? We are right now basically focusing on Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee. I think anywhere outside of like a 3-hour window is probably not going to be our bread and butter, but it could happen. We're only a year and a half old. Rob says the click is shrinking. No DK, no Ray Ray, no DDT this week. Only thing getting bigger is Jimmy. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Robert says it would be a great PPV if you had stars of Memphis and UWN together. Totally agree, and it could happen. Larrabee says, how about bring the wrestling from Championship Wrestling? I prefer your product over the California good old Southern hospitality, I guess. I do too. They're two totally different animals, really. We don't want to do all the production lights and all that kind of stuff because we want to stick to our roots with Memphis Wrestling and that studio feel that we mentioned. But also, you're going to see some changes inside the Wrestle Center. Maybe not just in the arena part, but all throughout the Wrestle Center. We'll share those with you here very soon. Let's see. Rob says also like your behind the scenes interviews. There are going to be more of those coming. Also, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff going on in Memphis, Tennessee with Memphis Wrestling right now. And we cannot wait to share it with you. It's just right now we can't say anything as it's happening. Let's see. Patrick, I like your show. The only problem you haven't taken advantage of being UWN, in my opinion, what you say. I think we're doing very good without having the UWN guys. And we have had some of the guys. We've had Anthony Idol. We've had EJ Sparks. We've had Jordan Cruz. We've had, oh my gosh, I mean, the list goes on and on. Peter Avalon. This is just coming up with them off the top of my head. So we've had quite a few that have crossed over. But at this point, we're trying to make our own stars and see how that goes. Rob says, can't wait to see Trader Aaron get beat by Zay. That's going to go down next week. They will both be in the same Wrestle Center at the same time. There's only one, by the way. But they will be in the building at the same time, and it's going to go down. Goat versus Goat. It will be an instant classic. It was at the Dyer County Fair, that's for sure. Derek says, is Rebel Kell coming back? Sure do love the 6-foot stunner. Rebel Kell, I'm sure she will be back at some point. We miss Rebel Kell as well. Keith says, anyone heard about Japanese wrestling legend 2010 WWE Hall of Famer Antonio Inoki passing? Yeah, one of the biggest legends in the history of the business. Eden Kane, man, with a $2 donation. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, and thanks for watching Memphis Wrestling. All right, everybody. I have to go and put on my suit and tie, going down to MC a wedding reception. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Bruce. Your MC, your host, 5-star is on the way. Oh, yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for interacting. If you guys are watching at a later time and I'm not live, you can post your questions in the comments and then I'll go in and answer those. But we will see you next week right here on Memphis Wrestling. Also, tomorrow, Championship Wrestling presented by CarShield is off the charts. And then on Monday, you're going to have all sorts of clips and highlights from the Rolling Into Mempo podcast and from Memphis Wrestling. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Oh, yeah.